Hi, my name is Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic. In case you didn't know, I think I might have mentioned it before, but it is 2020. And this year we're gonna start off with really understanding ourselves and understanding the signs. And what better way, like superficial way, to understand yourself than to read self-help books? I know. I used to be really into self-help books. Like I used to read them a lot. You know, I was really into psychology and how to understand people. And I've actually found that astrology is way better. But that being said, there are different things that you can get out of self-help books. And I think some of them would benefit different signs more. So you can read any of the books I'm about to mention, and I'll be posting all of them down below in the description box. But this is what book you should read this year to help improve your year and work on yourself. Not that there's something wrong with you, but we can always improve and always grow, right? And I'm also going to briefly explain why I chose that book for your sign. Aries. So for you, Aries, I think you really would benefit from reading The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, The Not So Obvious Secret, Guaranteed to Transform Your Life by ADM. There was a lot of this book that I was like, okay, I don't really need your whole backstory, but I did like a lot of, the techniques and what they were talking about in general. And it's basically about waking up, starting your day, and having a morning routine. That's basically it. And he gives you some ideas on how to do that. And the power of why it's so important to wake up at the same time and establish a routine and start that way and have this morning ritual. And I chose this for you, Aries, because you really rule the mind. And it's about starting the day. You're the first sign in the Zodiac. You're the ram, you just go full speed ahead, and it's important to have that sort of consistency. And also, once you get through it, like once you did your morning routine that day, you can just go on with your day. And honestly, when I did this, it took me some time to get used to it, but it just like changed my life. So I think that would be perfect for you guys. Taurus. For you, Taurus, I suggest The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. The Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing by Marie Kondo. And I'm only mentioning books here that actually helped me as a person. I'm not gonna, because I didn't like every single self-help book I read. Some of them are really redundant. Some of them just were really basic, seriously. That's your advice? Okay. And Taurus, the reason I chose this for you is because when you're imbalanced, you can get very grounded in the material realm and you can accumulate things. It's really a common misconception about Tauruses that they're just really materialistic people and they're always about the home and stuff like that. I would even say that being cozy is more of a Cancer thing. Because Tauruses are meant to be very serene. They're meant to be free spirits and they're meant to walk the earth, right? But when they are not doing well in this universe, when they're not really aligned with themselves and they're not really working on themselves and they're imbalanced, they can often get very stuck on the material plane. They can get stuck with money. They can get very obsessed with their next paycheck, that kind of thing. And I'm very good at getting rid of stuff. I've moved around a lot, right? I used to move all the time, and so I don't even have things on my wall right now. I managed to proudly put up one painting, and I put up one wall hook to hang a coat, but I know that I'm not gonna stay here forever, and a lot of you aren't in that situation, but for me, I learned to get rid of things, so I don't hold on to things. I'm very minimalistic in a way. I have a lot of those ideals, but I love the philosophies by Marie Kondo. I love this book because it really is about the art of appreciating what you have and only surrounding yourself with the things you actually love. There's so many things that just accumulate over time, and that we have. And it's about only keeping the things that really bring us joy. And getting rid of those things that you're I kind of like this. Okay, I'll wear it. Because if you ask me, like, I like to wear things that make me really cozy. This is my boyfriend's, but I like to wear things that make me feel really comfortable and really good and make me happy overall. Like, I'm not just going to keep something because I've had it forever. You know, everything is sentimental in a way, and it talks about being able to let go of those things and really focus on what you want and what you love. And I don't know, it gives a lot of cool tips and just about how things have spirits, and yeah. So definitely check that out. Oh my god, I'm like blah 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 today. Gemini. So for you, Gemini, I actually struggled to find something that I really wanted to recommend to you, because I feel like there are so many things that you're very versatile. Like, I feel like you could just like take on so many different, you know, things and improve yourself in so many ways. Not that you have a lot of like things to improve, but I'm just saying, like, you're basically all about gaining information and learning, and just, so this is kind of up your alley in a lot of ways. So the book I'm going to recommend, it wasn't my favorite book, but it is something, a lot of it really was helpful to me to sort of organize my thoughts and organize what I wanted in the world. It's You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. What I like about this book is it covers a lot of different things, right? It covers the law of attraction, and it covers just a lot of different areas that you can go into. And so I thought it was sort of well-rounded for you, Gemini, and you can sort of read up more on one of those things if you want to do more of that. So yeah, it kind of allows you to organize your brain thoughts a little bit. Cancer. So Cancer, the book I chose for you is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I feel like you guys would really like this book even more than I did. I liked it, but I feel like a lot of it was stuff that I wasn't that ready to hear when I read it, I guess. Cancers, you're water signs, so naturally, like, healing properties are going to be a part of you. You are healers in the world. Like, you are sort of born that way, and you have a very healing vibe, right? You are givers. And that's sort of something you struggle with in your life. That's like a balance you have to have. You Can Heal Your Life really goes into how we're connected and how we can help our bodies and, you know, the universe and whatever. And it really binds that all together. And I think that this book would be really, really good for you, especially with how intuitive you are. Leo. All right, you ready for it? The Secret. I know it's kind of basic. Most people have heard of The Secret. If you haven't, you should read it just for the sake of it, because it's kind of cool. It's about the universe and the law of attraction, and how, you know, how we can attract what we actually want, and we can manifest the things we want. And yeah, the book is kind of repetitive, I gotta say, but it's part of the basics. And I think, Leo, you're very expressive, and you can get kind of carried away, and you can forget about all of that potential that you have sometimes. Like you know you're the shit, but at the same time, like, sometimes you can get pretty carried away. So I would say The Secret is a really good book for you to read this year if you haven't already. Oh yeah, that one's by Rhonda Byrne. I don't know how to pronounce it. The next one is for Virgo, and I actually have this one. I had ordered it for a friend because I like it so much. So it's Intuitive Eating, a revolutionary program that works. And the reason that I chose it for you, Virgo, is because you're ruled by the gut. And it's not just like what you eat, like being healthy. It's about being mindful. You can get caught up in your head. You're still ruled by Mercury, you know? A lot of Virgos, like, they don't realize how many neurons are in their body. Like, the gut is such a powerful place. Like, that's where so much of your serotonin is produced. It's where you need to balance out that good bacteria and that bad bacteria. We have like a second mind in the gut. Like, the gut knows. And like, all disease basically begins from the gut. I thought having a book that was more centered around food and nourishing your body might be up your alley here. The truth is, especially in America, the truth is that the majority of us have a terrible, fucked up relationship with food. We have a really unhealthy connection with our bodies and with food. And most of us do not actually listen to our bodies. We don't actually feel our hunger. We don't know how to feel fullness or recognize when we actually need to eat something. And we kind of go by all this, like these sort of diet mentalities, right? Because we're always told, well, this is what's healthy, this is what's good, this is what's bad. And we actually don't ask our bodies like, hey, how do you feel about this food right now? Like most of us are actually really, really unhealthy. Even if we like think we're really healthy right now, we're putting so much crap into our bodies. So this isn't really about like what you eat. It's about recognizing what your body wants and how to eat mindfully and understand when you're done and when you're like, we just eat so much. We eat mindlessly in front of the TV. I don't know about you, but like when I used to like maybe go to meetings and stuff for like a job before I really got into my psychic stuff. And when there is a box of donuts there, I'm like, I'm getting a donut, even if I'm not hungry. Do you realize how like fucked up that is? Because just because they're there, we have to eat them. Like if you have eating disorders or health problems, you can still implement a lot of this in your, diet, in the way you eat, in the way you live your life, in your health routine. So there's something to take away from this, no matter who you are, and I definitely advise you to read it. Libra, I have the perfect book for you to read. It is The 5 Languages of Love by Gary Chapman. I love this book. I love it because it really goes into how we all have different ways of expressing our love and we all need different kinds of love. And there are 5 main ones according to Gary Chapman. And I chose this for you, Libra, because you are all about balance, right? I mean, that's what that scale is about. Partnership is so important for Libras. Like, there is a sense of completion that they sort of need. They need to find balance in the world. Like, if any sign struggles with balance the most, it's probably Libras, because they constantly have to seek it. It's not something that they're just given because they are Libras. That's a common misconception. They have to find that harmony. They have to use harmony in what they do. And that's hard. That is so hard. And so being able to communicate with your partner and really understand what they need and really understand like what you need as a person is just so freaking important. So yeah, I love this book, so definitely read it. Scorpio. So the next book might surprise you a little bit. It's Come As You Are, the surprising new science that will transform your sex life by Emily Nagoski, I don't know. Come As You Are doesn't really talk about new things like it says in the title. It just talks about things that you really like had no idea about. Like most of us are so uneducated about sex. Like it's crazy. Like you think you know sex, you read this book and there's probably like at least one thing that you learn from it that you had no fucking clue about. And they're like right here. Our genitals are right here, right? So it's like, how do we not know what they are? Like how do we not know stuff? So anyway, you want to improve your sex life, you want to even just learn more about sex or test your knowledge, like read this book. So this book is written, I feel like it's written more for women, but men can definitely read it too, or any gender. It's important to understand each other, and it's important to understand your partner. It's important to understand how your sex works, how your sex drive works, right? And I chose this for Scorpio because you're ruled by the sacral chakra. That's the part of you that you are ruled by. And it's super important to balance that. So it's important to have a really good understanding of your sexual nature and your body and, be able to balance that out. Plus, I just think it's really well said. And the book just makes me feel really good. Like, I love it. So definitely read it. So definitely get this out. Definitely. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, for you, I choose The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I think that's how you say his name. It's a lot, like a lot of wisdom in one book. And so I read it paragraph per paragraph. So I'll read like less than one page a day. So I can really think about the words that he's saying and just really try to understand and contemplate it. I really like thinking about this stuff. And I chose this for Sagittarius because there's a philosophy side to this. It's about sort of learning what's within and sort of developing your beliefs. And I see Sagittarius as an explorer. Someone who's really trying to understand their own nature and understand through the world around them. You know what? Just read this book. Like I feel like if I start talking about it, I won't stop, and then we will like have a whole video about this book. So just read it. I'll post it below. Capricorn, for you, I chose The 4-Hour Work Week. It's by Tim Ferriss. Much of this book did not apply to me because I don't really work a 9-to-5 job, and I don't really have a boss that I need to talk to or deal with, and I don't know. I don't really live a lot of this lifestyle, but there were a lot of interesting things that he talked about that I hadn't considered. And so a lot of Capricorns, you know, they have a very strong ethic, right? They're ruled by Saturn, they have discipline. And I call Saturn the old grumpy man planet because he's just like this grumpy man, you know, like, anyway, but Capricorn it's going to be really awesome to be able to expand and really learn about how to take more control over their own life because there's a self-assured nature to them. They're very grounded in truth, and I feel like routine or regimen can become a big part of who they are. And so being able to learn how to sort of defy the norm and really think outside the box here. Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, I feel like you don't even need a self-help book really, but you guys are personalities. Like, if I were to describe your personality, I couldn't box you in because that's who you are. You're so out there, and sometimes it can be messy. Being unique can be messy, and you don't want to have to conform with society because you kind of like rebel against that a little bit. You're very independent, and I think what I would choose for you is the book Unfuck Your Habitat. You're Better Than Your Mess by Rachel Hoffman. Unfuck Your Habitat is like one of those books where you're like, I know this, but I kind of need it to be written down, and it just, I don't know, it gives you kind of a layout of, this is your mess, this is the truth about your mess, like, here's how to fucking take care of it. And I love that, like, it's direct, and it just talks about all this stuff you kind of know, but it's nice that it's written down for you, I guess. And it does talk about, like, defying gender norms, right? How we used to, you know, expect that the woman should stay home and work and like be the stay-at-home mom. But it talks about how to sort of get past that mentality for a lot of people who are still stuck on it, which is very true. And also like how to organize if, say, you have a partner. Like I live in a studio apartment with my boy toy, and he is very, like, we both are kind of similar when it comes to our lifestyle. There's a lot of humor in this book too, and I feel like Aquarius would really benefit from this, so check that out. Pisces. All right, Pisces, you are last on the Zodiac, but you're still so mushy and creative and like, I don't know, I think of mushy because I think of water, like I think of fluid, like you're not rigid. And sometimes you can be really tough on yourself, like all the other signs have, you know, done their thing, and then you're just like there, like feeling insecure sometimes, having trouble with growing within yourself. It's really emotional. You have a very emotional nature. And for you, I'm going to tell you, let's see, the book of The Gifts of Imperfection. Yes, The Gifts of Imperfection. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are by Brene Brown. It was sort of a wake-up call for me in a lot of ways when I read it. A lot of it I kind of knew, but I'm also very self-aware, but I feel like Pisces, you could really find yourself through this book. I definitely wouldn't rely on a book in general to completely understand yourself, but it might really benefit you. So that's where I'm at with that. If you have any cool suggestions or of self-help books you like, or what you thought of that, have you read any of these books? Like, do you agree? Do you disagree? But yeah, no matter what sign you are, you can read any of these books, obviously. This is just what I think your sign would benefit most from. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.